Hi guys, so today I will be showing you how to make cake pops. I made the cake the night before and I added a third cup of cooking oil instead of the half, and everything else was the same as the box. And after I took it out of the oven, I covered it. And the reason why you want to use less oil is to prevent your cake pops from leaking any oil. So I would try using less than whatever the instructions are telling me. I also did notice my cake pop sticks turned yellow a day after I made them, so maybe I'll use less oil in frosting and see if that helps, or if you guys know of any tips, please leave them down in the comments below. So here you just want to crumble your cake as fine as you can. So once done, it should look something like this, and then you can add your frosting. And you can use homemade or store-bought. I use store-bought and I just used about that much, even though I added a little more after. And you can see that I took my gloves off. The ones I had were too big, so it was hard to work with, but my hands were clean, so don't come at me. So when you think it's ready, you can test it out by forming a ball. And as you can see, mine was definitely not ready yet. Although I do think that if you use the mixer, you can get by without using any frosting. I do like mine with frosting, so I didn't want to go without it. So I finally was able to form a ball, and that's what it looked like. I made 2 cake pops and realized the cake still needed to be mixed more because kneading it with my hands to create a smooth cake pop was taking too long. So I decided to use my mixer, and I also added a little bit of frosting, which I honestly didn't need to add, because mixing it with the mixer creates a smooth cake pop. So you want to keep mixing until your cake consistency looks like Play-Doh. And this is what mine looked like when I decided it was ready to start making cake pops. And I made 1 tablespoon sized cake pops, which is considered small, so you can always make them bigger if you want. I like using the mixer because I feel it speeds up the process and it's faster to create a smooth cake pop. So as you can see, that looks pretty smooth, so you should be ready to make your cake pops. So you want to just keep rolling it in your hands until you create a round, smooth cake pop. And this is what mine looked like. And I did notice some started to get cracks after sitting there for a while, but I'll show you how to fix them. I put mine on the fridge for 30 minutes, and after I took them out, I let them sit for about 10 minutes before I started dipping them in chocolate. And these are the candy melts that I used. So I poured most of the candy melts and microwaved them for 30 seconds. I took them out to stir them, and then I put them back in for another 30 seconds. And I mixed them again. Then after that, I microwaved them for another 20 seconds until they were completely melted, and that's what it looked like. And you want to make sure your chocolate is not too hot. If so, let it cool a little bit so it doesn't cause your cake pops to crack later. So now I'm dipping the cake pop stick into the chocolate, and inserting it into my cake pop about halfway in, and then getting rid of the excess chocolate on top. Or you can just smear it onto the cake pop, or better yet, any cracks that you might see on your cake pop. And actually, I think that you insert the cake pop stick a little more than halfway in. So here I'm just holding the sticks for several seconds to make sure that they stay straight up and not tilted to one side. So here you can see my cake pop has some cracks on it, which I will be covering with some chocolate. And here again, I'm covering up any cracks I see with chocolate, although most small cracks should be fine and you shouldn't need to cover them up with chocolate before dipping. I was just trying to be extra cautious. Once you're done with this step, you shouldn't need to put them back in the fridge, because by the time you're done with all of them, the chocolate is already dry and should be set. So when you start dipping your cake pops, you just want to make sure you're being gentle and not spinning it too roughly, and also shaking it kind of gently. So you want to make sure you shake off enough excess chocolate off your cake pop, or else you can end up with a huge puddle underneath, or your cake pop dripping, like my first couple did. It is also a good idea to have a toothpick on hand to get rid of any bubbles you might see. And you want to make sure you pop them right away before the chocolate starts to set. So for these, after you flip them up, you want to shake them again gently to get rid of that chocolate tip on top and make your cake pop look more rounded. For the drip effect, you want to grab a piping bag or Ziploc bag would work too, and make a small hole and start creating that drip effect. And make sure you don't go too low. I did that on some of my cake pops and I think I overdid it. So after you're done, you want to shake it off gently and then you can add your sprinkles. And again here, it's basically the same thing, you just go around the stick. So that's the finished look. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos.